Hey friends and family, hey loved ones, hey self, because this video I'm really doing for myself and to share about alchemy and about like moving through certain things and doing some inner work and sharing things vulnerably and going through my own messy process and things that work and things that don't work and just like the experience of like all of it and being, yeah, a spiritual being having a human experience, and what an experience it is. And just really having some ahas and some major things like coming through, breaking through the surface, working with things. It's amazing. It really is, after being stuck and going through the same cycles and the same loops and being kind of stuck in the same emotions of disgust and it's been disgust and anger and hurt, grief, all that. Betrayal, like rejection, demoralization programming and all of that stuff. Being in that space for such a little bit, stewing in that for so long, it seems, because it's been harsh. And then a couple days ago, after processing like some certain things and receiving a couple other things and being willing like to let some things go but not knowing how to, and forgiving myself and really like, okay, I don't really need to give that belief loyalty anymore, thank you. What if I changed my mind and said something different? And there are some huge things that I received from some of the songs that I was led to listen to and that I got obsessed with sometimes, because I do hyper focus on certain things as a creative person and as a sensitive person. Like don't like to label myself, but I think I would be classified as a HSP, highly sensitive person, and an empath and whatever other labels. But and definitely different at processing a lot of things than, I guess, the typical, but I have no idea, like, really, like, because everybody's so unique, and how can you put people into categories, or when we're all, like, so unique? I mean, I know there's lots of similarities, and there are certain processes that are very similar, but it's very limited in certain ways, the way that we can see ourselves or other people when we're given like just flatlined kind of swim lanes like to explore, when it's just infinite and it's so much more, because of the need to categorize and measure and with a false metric system, like everything, and break it down into small parts to say what it is, but it disregards the whole and how it works together. It's very limited and tunnel vision, kind of, very blind, like the blind leading the blind. The three blind people trying to figure out what an elephant is, and all of them have a different idea because of what, part that they're feeling at or observing. And none of them are right about it, but they do have like some kind of idea from where they're standing or what part they're looking at, like what they think it is. Like, it's probably a good guess and stuff, but it's missing a whole lot. And that's just like where we go wrong, where we think we're so fucking right about what we know or what we think we know, and what we identify with, and how it gets so old and it can be so burdensome and such a, I mean, at first it probably feels good to wear around like a badge of honor or something, but it can really become something very heavy and hindering, very hindering and harmful to growth and to other people around us or to ourselves. And yeah, if we're so rigid and we're attached, to those beliefs, to those ideologies, to those preferences and everything. But like discernment, obviously. But we can all, probably relate in certain ways where we've outgrown certain beliefs or certain things that held us hostage in certain ways where it was like obviously preventing our growth and keeping us stuck in some kind of a holding pattern or just trauma bond or trauma wound or some kind of cycle that we've been enmeshed in or addicted to. And so always looking at that kind of stuff for myself, where certain things aren't working for me. And sometimes I do have that negativity bias, or I know there's a psychological trick where we focus on what's lacking or what's missing instead of actually what there is. And so I feel like, maybe in this culture and with the programming, like the mass media culture programming, that's actually what they want us to focus on, is what it is that we lack or what's lacking from our lives, because the consumerism culture, wouldn't take hold. And so it is like a lot about changing our mindsets about, what's really important to us, like what we actually do have, like all the good things. But like it is like hard when we get sucked into certain things that have been inherited or implanted or like ongoing and reinforced in the external and then therefore in the internal. Like it's very hard to deprogram like some of those stories and some of those beliefs and some of those concepts, those things that we've been told we are, or that like, and then we have a reputation to live up to. Sometimes it's just the power of suggestion. Sometimes, like, even if we agree or disagree, it's like some part of our subconscious, unconscious, like, acts these things out in certain ways. It's just weird to see, like, how things, play and how they operate, and how a lot of the unconscious influences plays out. And then in hindsight, like, we see certain things, and like sometimes we see different patterns where, holy crap, I mean, if we're paying attention, like, we can see certain themes, and we can discover like how to decipher and interpret like how we've played a part in creating them. And so it's just like, sometimes it is true, like, we are all mirrors, and we couldn't we couldn't really see everything unless we did have, those mirrors to see ourselves with. We do all have blind spots, and so it is like humbling to to really allow that and to accept that, because it's so hard sometimes to see the stupid or the ridiculous or the repellent, because all of us, like, it's just what is. There's never going to be anything like super perfect, where there's never going to be anything that we don't like for reals. It's so funny that some of us think we can create I mean, we can with our own little space and our own home and our own like, we could totally, but like out in the world and stuff, there's always going to be stuff that we just don't care for, and that we wouldn't participate in, or we just like, it's not our thing, or like, or it's really repellent, or it's really gross, or it's just like, it's totally not us. And that's okay. Like, But like there's got to be that contrast of like people that like they think that, you know, it's reversed, like the stuff that we like or the stuff you know that we're about, they're totally repulsed and stuff, and that's okay. It's like that electromagnetic attraction and repellence, and the attraction and repellence is right. It's just like different energies doing different things. So it's just like, don't get mad or eradicate, like, you know, that thing that you just you don't want to. But like, yeah, I can see like where people would have a problem where that thing that they hate or dislike and everything is being pushed in their face, and they're being asked to comply and go along with that and validate it and tolerate it, or when, especially if it's really abusive or it's really hypocritical, it's very violating, it's very manipulative and kind of, you know, psychotic, or, you know, really it's because of the pathocracy and because of the logic of up is down and down is up, and yeah, all of that stuff. Like, it's just, it is sad. It's really sad to see, and no wonder a lot of people are getting, you know, frustrated with that kind of cultural hijacking is what it is. Yeah, to push certain agendas, obviously, to destabilize truth from fiction, and just like, yeah, just push different ideologies that have run amok. Like now, there are theories and stuff that have been treated as fact, and yeah, it's been very interesting to see like what's been portrayed or what's been streamed and broadcasted, like the effects of like this kind of programming of supposed anti-racism when it is racism, and it's all doublespeak stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting. And then how the woke stuff, the woke ideologies and everything, that's very like calculated and curated and very convenient, and it like, oh, can see like some of the mind control in that and everything, and that's what like really has infuriated me, like because of some of the tactics they used and how like freaking extreme like some of the people that have bought into this stuff that are actually like poor souls. They've been weaponized, or they've been incentivized to like play out certain roles, and they think, yeah, they're being saviors by being victims and being tyrants and predators actually too, which is, it's an interesting dance. The virtuous victim and the benevolent tyrant. Yeah, the virtuous victim and the benevolent tyrant. But then, yeah, on the other side, like the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, what the projections are on the other side of that. And then just seeing how the other side responds. And it just like, wow. It's been an interesting dance and things. And I have been like, yeah, really caught up in some of it, because it just irks me to see like such reversion and such degenerative programming at play, like where I thought we had made progress, where yeah, it was okay just to be who you were, and people like were starting to encourage that, but now it's all, yeah, backwards, because I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and it was a different, like, I swear we've reverted, and it's been sad to see how socially kind of retarded and dumbed down and some groups of people are. But in my social circles and everything, I feel like, wow, I'm amazed by like so many of the people that I know and that are in relationship with me, like, and that I've been blessed to like meet and or become aware of their work, or like I'm astounded by like the intelligence and the upward and the just the amazing growth and the contributions and the the people that do embody the truth and love and really want to unify. I really want to make things better for everybody instead of like playing these stupid deceptive games like they're really old and everything. And so it's just like turning it around instead of focusing on like, oh my god, that's just the most horrible shit I've seen, like focusing so much on like why that's wrong and trying to defend myself because I've identified with some of those supposedly personal attacks of different things. Because of my own wounds of rejection and betrayal and the trauma, the baggage and the stuff that I haven't, totally healed yet, the stuff that I'm vulnerable to, like has sucked me back into some of that drama just in my own way where I'm in a battle with myself. So I like kind of look at those inner conflicts because it's shown to me on the outside mirror, which is in that black mirror, which is the phone and the media and all of that is there. And it is like good to be just aware of that, like while consuming that and just I ask myself, what am I trying to do here? What am I trying to process? I want to, I just have that need to, like, immerse myself sometimes in something, even though, sometimes I do need to take my time away from it. Because it does, like, after a bit, like, okay, and I need to focus on something else, and I need to do something else. But I have a very, like, dire need sometimes to know something and to understand it and to dive deep into it and to dissect it and to just know all the parts of the makings of it. And for my own like curiosity, I guess. And sometimes I don't know, it's just a OCD thing sometimes, but it's like part of my curiosity about things and why I'm led to certain things and why I can get passionate. And that's I'm a Gemini rising, have, Mercury and the air sign of, like, wanting to overanalyze everything, and then actually, too, like, being a Virgo does that, overanalyzes everything, plans everything out. And then, like, the Pisces, dreamy, not wanting to be, like, realistic sometimes. And all of that, and then, it's funny, like, just how, like, just looking at what I have to work with sometimes and, like, what I get to develop, like, some of my strengths that I do have, I appreciate those, but I've looked more at my weaknesses and never, like, really thought I could, own those sometimes and work with them and make them into gold, because those were the raw resources that I've been given that I can use, and they will be my superpowers and my strengths if, And so instead of looking at them like, there's nothing I can do about this. This is what I've been given, like, to work on and, like, to mature, because, like, and we all have that, like, we're developed and we have strengths in certain areas, but and sometimes we don't even want to see, like, where we're, just being ignorant of our own ignorance sometimes. yeah, like, just like, yeah, one who does not know, yeah, that she does not know, yeah, she's in pretty sad shape. But the one who does not know and does not care is even in worse condition because she's danger. She's a danger to herself and other people around her. So it's like, if you don't care about your own ignorance or what you don't know or like what you could know, like, that's pretty sad. Not to like want to learn about different things or think that you're totally right and not go beyond that. Like, that's pretty sad state. You know? Like, yeah, I guess, but that's good for comfort and it's convenience, and like, people don't have time to think about that, or they don't want to. And yeah, I've tried to like check out sometimes because I don't want to think about it. But like, yeah, that's a cop out as well. It's, yeah, there's so many reasons for addictions and for like not wanting to deal with stuff, or because it is like, man, sometimes like, yeah, we need to have coping mechanisms and different things. But it is like getting, yeah, it's tiring. I've been tired of hearing like the victim stories and like when you blame other people and you never ever change your game. Like, that's sad. And it's like, wow, I'm like tired of it. So yeah, I'm gonna own my own shit and own my own game. And I realize that, like, you know, a little bit on a deeper level of, wow, those people, that's where they're going. Like, I appreciate all I've learned here. I think I'm done with this now. And then, like, other things that have been on my plate and on my mind and weighed heavy on my heart, I actually got, yeah, a very, very heavy weight lifted from my heart. And I got this feeling a couple days ago that said, you know what? Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's just as it needs to be and as it should be. And, you know, it's going to all unfold in the best ways and in the right timing. And, like, good job for what you've done, you know. And I got that validated in some ways that were pretty awesome to me. And it just felt like I just knew. It was just it was a feeling, yeah, that waking up one day and there was a weight lifted, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I had this reassurance and just this knowing that, oh my gosh, I can let this go now. And I was willing, and yeah, and it was just gone. So yeah, and just thinking about the things that I love and the things that bring me joy and the things that I get to do and the things that I get to choose and the work that I've done, and realizing, yeah, with some of the songs, with Natural Blues, yeah, Natural Blues by Moby, and Troubles by Ren. So my friend Morgan, she sent me Troubles by Ren, and I recognized that song that was in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, who did that? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember, like, because I listened to Moby like years and years ago when I was doing like the trance stuff and the, yeah, some of those fun things. And I went and I played that song, and I got hyper focused on that song for a little bit. And I had to find out who the original artist was because I knew that it had been done by somebody else, like in the 40s or something. And so I found out that it was done by a Black woman whose name was Vera Hall. And I think it was 1937, but I have to check again. That she had done that, and it was totally like a cappella without accompaniment, and it was like only a minute and like 30 seconds, but it was like, yeah, man, holy crap, that's, wow, like that is, that's touching my soul, and it's like inspired, and like you can really feel her in that. And like how Moby recreated it and he did it, like, man, that was a good song. It was a super good song. And then Ren, I can relate to his song. But it, like, yeah, just kind of listening to that song, like, and the lyrics of it, and where she stayed while where she felt good. But, you know, when there was pain and there was grief, she didn't stay long, you know. She went down the hill the other day and it felt so good, so she stayed all day. And then she went to her room and her brother was dead on a bed and she didn't stay long. But yeah, so like the trauma, you just don't, yeah, and this is like your blues and you could just, yeah, crying about what you've been through, and nobody really does know, like, the trouble you've seen and the trouble you've been through, and yeah, all the hardship, yeah, and all the pain. And that's like part of the grief too, is because nobody can know and nobody sees. Sometimes nobody will see, and nobody wants to know. Sometimes it's hard. And then everybody judges you because they don't, you know. And it's just like that. Maybe that's why, like, people are playing out the victim because they want people to see how much they're hurting. But if you, I don't know, but it's like kind of the shadow side of that, where we do need community support and love and empathy and everything, but it can't be manipulated in certain ways where, yeah, it's toxic compassion or toxic positivity, or like really when stuff is doublespeak and it's not what it purports to be, like really, like it is, like, it's sad to see like the irony and hypocrisy and stuff with some of those ideologies and beliefs that are being pushed heavily and really pushed by the mainstream and yeah, the media, and don't think it's very accurate assessment of reality at all. And so we can't really think that most people think that way in certain ways, because it is a toxic, it's an even more toxic culture than we've already been in, amplified to the nth degree of caricature personalities and identity politics and things. And yeah, it's been a little painful and harsh to watch. And where people have been divided and, like, I don't know, they've done their little tricks well with psychology and demoralization and aggravation, yeah, and devaluation and demonization, like, for both sides. And then, like, sensationalism and drama and mean-spiritedness is what I've been turned off about. Like, I can't even believe the grade school, like, junior high school stuff. It's been, like, kind of appalling and disgusting, like, to just even, like, see, like, really? Like, adults can't even really, like, have a civil, like, intelligent discourse and debate anymore without, like, yeah, ridiculous manipulative tactics that narcissists use. And so, like, it's really, yeah, been sad to see the degenerative stuff in a lot of ways, where people just, like, resort to character assassination or smear campaigns, and they don't, like, even look at the issues, and yeah, they can't tolerate, like, another view, like, or listening at all, like, to try and understand, or they're just trying to be right, or they don't even care, like, because they already know that they're right. And that's just, like, pretty ignorant and arrogant too. That's been painful to see. So yeah, I look at where sometimes I'm intolerant, or where, because I do have my preferences, And sometimes those preferences, yeah, I can challenge those. It just depends on what that is in any, factor. And then, like, sometimes, like, where I know I don't like something, I know I don't like something. And that's just, like, discrimination. But yeah, I can still challenge my beliefs of I don't like such and such because of this and that. But, like, yeah, for the most part, I'm freaking aware of what I don't like. But I can look at my limitations and my limited beliefs, and I think other people could too. And I'm sure it would benefit them as well. Because, I think we get ourselves locked into, like, certain things. And, we get pretty silly. We get pretty silly and we do some damage to to ourselves. We get swept up in some silly stuff. So, but yeah, sometimes we have to go through it, and hindsight is, what do we say, 20/20. Hindsight is 20/20. So, seeing clearly. Hopefully learning a lesson instead of revising the history and making it convenient in a fictitious story and a falsity. But I was glad. I was super glad, like, to look at these things about truth and lies, and the lies that I've told myself, and the lies that I've believed, and the lies that I've lived, and the lies, that I thought I was. And I did realize that, nobody does know my troubles but God. Nobody can really judge me but God. Nobody really, like, nobody that matters really judges me. Except for myself. And that, like, and nobody really has the right to judge me at all, except for God. So, it was like, because I know who I am. Like, really. And so I realized, too, like, if he doesn't know who you are, it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what you say if they're not willing to listen. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you don't say if they're not willing to listen. Like, it's so funny. You just, like, and I'm just, in a way, let that shit go. It's not yours. It's not you. So don't have to identify about it, because, man, those things, observe but don't identify. Like, it just, like, clicked. Oh my God. Because it isn't you. It isn't. It isn't. It isn't me. And so that's freeing. Like, on some certain level. And it's a lot lighter, and it's a lot brighter. And now I can remember, what I get to do. And, the message. One of the messages. That was so good. It was like, never define yourself on the number of your attackers, or never define yourself on how you've been attacked. Never define yourself, by your attackers. Never define yourself by the way you've been attacked, like, pretty much. And so, I'll put that message in the link. In the description box, I'll put a link in there. But it was like, oh my goodness. Don't have to define yourself by the people who don't like you or hate you or, like, trying to devalue you or whatever. Don't even know you and want to vilify you or other you. And that's the thing that bothers me so much. Is that, oh my God, how dare somebody be different or think different or not, like, be in our cult, or think the same way and want the same things as us. Burn them, burn the witch, burn the witch. And it's just like, wow, like just the 1984, like kind of impulsive, crazy mob mood swings that seem to be apparent or seem to be at work here. Like, wow. It's just like, wow, just not a good look. Just not a good look. It's hard to look at. It's hard to see. Like, that people are really that unstable. Like, I mean, after, the last couple of years, I think people have been through a lot. But wow, it just makes me question, like, what is going on out there? Like, 'cause it seems to be, like, very unhinged. Like, and I just wonder, yeah, what everybody on their side of the couch, or their side of, things, what they see on the screen. But then what do you see actually in real life? Because, yeah, or in your own circle of things. So it's just, yeah, it's just a weird contrast and a weird thing that's presented as reality, but is it? And like, how much of it is scripted and how much of it is being used to affect and influence people when they're kind of really vulnerable and fragile right now. Yeah, to keep them off their center and everything, when certain things could be beautiful and more productive right now, because there are other opportunities and there are blessings. And so I feel like if we did remember, like, what is true and what we can do together, and the resources and the blessings and the passions that we do have, if we focus on that, and we love our families and we love the people that we're with, and we're dedicated to loving ourselves more, and we're willing to work on some stuff and forgive ourselves, and man, have some cry sessions, some ugly cries, and some coming to Jesus, and some coming to our knees moments of, like, I can't expect anyone else to fix this for me. What do I need to do? Like, what can I do? Like, to help and to be love and to be true and all of that. Like, yeah, those kinds of things. Because nobody else can do anything for us. We don't have some savior. We need to take accountability for our emotional, spiritual, psychological, mental, and, like, physical, material maturity, ecological maturity, because we're not separate from the environment or from each other. But man, we can't, like, force anyone to our standard of an ideal or to our vision of utopia. We have to work together, and it's got to be organic and like legitimately diverse. Like nature, like take some lessons from nature. Nature doesn't engage in some of this silly, toxic, ridiculous behavior. But it does have a balance system and different things. Yeah. Are legitimate with the prey-predator relationships and all those. But everything, has been so imbalanced. It's been quite sick. And it is no measure of health. It is no true measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Not at all. But so, one good thing too is, like, can sit back. Like, we can do our thing. We can do our best. But, like, it's hard for us to be deceived unless we're still deceiving ourselves in certain ways. And so I feel like unless we're being deceitful, or unless we're still deceiving ourselves, we won't be able to be deceived any longer. And so we need to work on that, like being true to ourselves, and being more honorable with our words, being more truthful, and also, in the ways that we need to be, in a way of integrity and honor, and being honorable in our commitments. And if we can't do something, be more honest, and things that aren't working for us, be more honest, and be more honest with ourselves, and try and live in that truth and embody that truth. And it's easier to see through like some of the deceptions and some of the lies, but that doesn't mean that we're not infallible or still vulnerable to some things. But like just paying attention more about what feels true, and instead of second guessing ourselves. But like, I think healing and bringing that instinct alarm back online and aligned, that's in order, because we've turned it off so much just to get along, and it was bothersome. But like, there's certain red flags that we can't ignore, like really, unless we just already like chosen to do that. And that's what's hard too, like not wanting to, like letting go of the need to convert anybody anymore, but just like, just wanting to like put some things to work, like use some stuff that I learned for the better, instead of being like sucked dry by it and always mad about, the manipulation. Kind of bring some of that to light, and unpack that, and like bring some more awareness to it, and like so that people can recognize it, because some of it is like easily recognizable once you know what you're looking at. It's just like when you see the magic trick and you know how it's done, it's not magic anymore, and you just like know how they did it, or it's like you see it when it happens, and more familiar with it and less likely to fall for whatever it is. Or, and then just like intuition and like, instincts and gut feelings and soul knowings and discrimination and discernment, like just developing that, maturing that, and being able to, from the mistakes I learned this, instead of I'm never wrong. It's like, it's okay to be wrong, man. But it sucks, man, the pride. And that's what I've been so upset about too. Oh my God. I felt so irritated earlier today though. Even after like just a few days of just feeling like, oh my God, I'm just loving life and like being present and everything, like, just the smells of the flowers and all of the May, the blooming of May, and just what nature's doing, and all the birds, and oh my God, the life that there is all around me, the beautiful, sweetness, everything that's good, everything that is amazing, everything I have to feel grateful for. Oh my God, I have been here for it. I have enjoyed it so much. I've been painting. I've been, writing. I've been, talking with different friends, different family members, different people that I love. It's been all positive. It's been amazing. It's been great. It's been just so sweet. And everything seems like so much has happened. Like every single day seems like 3 days could have been packed into it. And it's just been wow. Just like the energies, man, like, and everything that, wow. It just seems incredible. Like, it almost seems like time is slowed down, but it's like got so much more packed into every day in a way. But like, that's just my experience for the last week or two. And then just feeling like so relieved and so much lighter and more resolved and inspired. But also still know that I'm recovering and working, but like still like, you know what? Be here right now. I don't have to have anything like preventing me from enjoying and being and loving and living and receiving like all the things that there are right now. And that includes like some of the bullshit. And so just using it to work with it and remembering to play with it and everything. So that's what I decided to do today, because I did get like really, I got tuned into like some rage and disgust and I don't even know. I guess I have to sit with that feeling, but maybe that's what it is. It's like, and just like a incredulity, I guess. Like, I don't know if that's how you say it, but like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, kind of stuff. Like, confoundment and like horror, like, those kinds of feelings. Like, and so I was just like, okay, what can this shit teach me? Because holy shit, like, looking at that mirror, that dark mirror, like, of why I had that kind of reaction, of why it was so, but it was because of repetitive pokes of being identified as something that I'm not, but that I hooked into identifying as. And how like I had gotten like such an abusive situation. Like when an empath is with a narcissist, or maybe like somebody's with a physical, abuser, like a domestic abuser, or, like in that toxic dynamic relationship where it's like we keep listening to those messages and hearing different people who have those messages that are supposedly, meant for us, us others, whoever we other. And we listen and we recoil in shock and horror that this is what they really think. Oh my gosh, and it's really abusive, and it's really violent, it's really like toxic, and it's not put in like, a lot of context, or and it's really spiteful and hateful and like really entitled and psychotic, and it's like sociopaths and everything. And so I just wonder, what percentage of people are actually like sending out those messages, and then they censor like other messages as hate speech. And it's just backwards world and clown world and culty world. You if you belong in this cult, then your hate is not hate. It's it's acceptable and it's justified, and it's because of those others, man. Those others. Okay. So, just wanted to work with that, because that is, oh God, like seriously, what has divided and conquered us, as a human collective, as brothers and sisters and all related. Like, just like the star-bellied sneeches Dr. Seuss wrote. Just like you have to find some reason to other somebody else, and then to justify like why they're not worthy of living, you know, or existing or taking up space or being, you know. And that's been like such a wound from being persecuted for being different and not like fitting in and not complying to different things, not conforming. But now it's like so tyrannical and so like reverse rebellion, like where they think they're being rebels and they're just being the brown shirts and the tyrants. So the like that evil agenda to enslave everyone. Like, and so just like that's, I mean, because we've been enslaved by that already. We've been enslaved by that. And so like softening my own heart and like forgiving like more, like that they don't know what they're doing and they've chosen to play in that game, and it can be a very intoxicating game. Wow, it is. It's like very, especially like with the dopamine, but like they have to do more and more and get more extreme and get more, have a more emotional meltdowns and stuff. Like it's just sad, yeah, to see the breakdown and like what is being incentivized and modeled and kind of, I guess, mirrored and mimicked too. And then it's monkey see, monkey do. And is that a model of behavior and standards that we want everybody, to start emulating and playing into? Like, aren't we better than that? Like, really? Because it got in. Like, I mean, shit. Like, I think we're fighting the wrong people, too. Like, and obviously that's part of the divide and conquer strategies. But, like, yeah, it's sad to see, like, how people have been weaponized with certain beliefs and ideas about, and how, like, a lot of it has to do with programming and about certain cultural ideologies that have been funded with lots and lots of monies and from certain organizations and with certain agendas. And so it's sad to see people suffering because of that in real time, like because of how extreme it is. And and it's just been kind of madness just to see a lot of stuff, especially like kind of more intensely the last 5 years or so, like where things just got more magnified with that. Yeah, magnifying glass that. And I guess it depends on where we focus it too, because we could be scorching earth with it. But and I think that's why we need another view too, like, is that eagle's eye, because it is like harsh to see some of that and get triggered and wounded by the persecution and by the trauma that we all have felt, because there's nobody immune that hasn't been hasn't been hurt or abused or abandoned or rejected or like gone through some shit. And so like none of us really know, but like do we like attack each other and attack ourselves and hate ourselves and hate each other and want somebody to blame for the rest of our lives and not like do anything different? And it's silly. Like, somebody should do something. I don't know. This is like a helpless, oh, yep, it's the dependent, yeah, where they want us to be. It's that dependent victim, so that, daddy, daddy and mommy, yeah, surrogate daddy and mommy, which the government plays for you now, can come and sweep you up and take care of you until they don't take care of you anymore. But, like, yeah, it's that. And it's sad. And so I guess, like, it's been sad to see all the ways that, and all the strategies they've used to coerce us and to trick us and to deceive us into playing into those things, and where we think we need that, like, toxic authority and draining, siphoning system that we have that really, yeah, it's a little backwards, and I'll have more to say about that later, but I feel like putting it into some kind of coherent structure, I think that'll help me alchemize a little more of it, just to put it into like some kind of order from all this chaos. From chaos comes order. Can I order? Like, can I put into, or can I reorder? Yeah, from all that I've learned, and because it interests me, and yeah, it's taught me a lot about like what I don't want to play into, what I don't want to do, and then looking into like what I do want to create, what I do want to do, and how to go about that, and how to change that, and how to shift into that, like, instead of having that negative bias, and like seeing everything that is here and everything, because that, focus on that, but not have the rose-colored glasses on, still acknowledge the challenges, because hell yeah, there's challenges and everything, and but we're integrating all of that and just like having, yeah, more faith about, yeah, what is like possible, and the power and the love and the beauty and the resources that we all have and that we all are, because we're our own resources, and that is the truth, and with God's help and our own love for ourselves, and the love that we have, and the love that we are, and the love that we have for everything else, like the love that we love, like that's so important, and that like is prosperity. Like if we share that and we give that and we nurture that and we grow that, like we don't need to have all this cheap artificial shit. We don't need to be artificial. We don't need to be cheap. We don't need to sell ourselves and like believe that we're bullshit. Like, I mean, gosh, what we've been given is kind of bullshit now. Like, and we're better than that. I mean, gosh, we are. And I know that, because I see it all around me, like, and I know it within me. And so, like, seeing, like, the archetype of the king, like, seeing into that, and it was a really awesome video that I saw, and it, like, really stuck with me, too. And just, like, with all these messages that I got, and I'm gonna, like, share them all. I'm gonna put this in this little video for my reference, because I go back, like, a year later, and I'll be like, yep, this is where I was at, like, this is what I was looking into, like, different things, and with all the different, sometimes, like, it comes back to me at the perfect time, and I just love it, and, it's a gift, and, so I'm happy to be able to, to leave these little breadcrumbs and these nuggets, and share these little, these thoughts, in my feral stage and my space blob existence, where everything's unraveling and just gotta be wandering and following what comes and trusting things and having those choices where definitely showing up for that power, responsibility, accountability, enjoying, loving, living, and choosing, but still don't have it all figured out at all. But have more of a renewed sense of faith and trust and following love and God and just what I'm here for. Can't really say that I have a purpose either, except for just to love and be here and nurture things that I love. And maybe that is enough. And love myself and love those around me, and that is enough. And that I don't have to prove anything, and just being myself. That creates so much more than anything that I've ever believed before. And so just changing my mind, challenging my own beliefs, going through some shit and claiming it, owning it, freeing it, being willing to share it, going through the thick of it and coming back from the other side, which that was another song. The Other Side. Oh my God. Almost forgot about this. And so a couple weeks ago, I had no freaking idea. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with that song, The Other Side by Red Hot Chili Peppers, in my head. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it was in my head. And I thought that was strange. And I thought about it the next morning, and I thought, oh, maybe I should look at that song or look at the lyrics. But then a day passed, and then that song was still in my head. And then I was just okay. But then I let another day go by. And then I finally did. I looked into it in the morning, and I looked at the lyrics, and I was kind of taken aback by it. I'm what in the hell? But I mean, it's a good song and everything, and it is catchy and stuff. I don't know. I had no idea. And so I just kind of sat with it and played it, and it was just something that I played with for a week. And I looked at it and just read about what it was, and it was about addiction and one of the band members who had died from a heroin overdose, and all these different things about his perspective about how he felt he would have to die before he could give up his addiction, and or that he would have it for as long as he lived. And so and just looking at addictions myself in the last little while, because they come in many forms, and patterns. So it did give me some insight into some things, and I felt too that it was that I was separating myself. That was a way that I separated myself, was through some of these addictions and this addictive behavior, and these addictive beliefs or addictive identities or addictive patterns, addictive coping mechanisms, whatever they were, that kept me separate from myself. And that would I ever get to the other side or through the other side, or could I unify the whole, And so I kind of took that, and just why am I always cutting myself off from my own redemption, in different things, when he says slitting my throat, why do we always, cut off our own voice and our own expression and our own choice and our own free will, our own like needs. Like, why do we self-abandon, to survive, to appease, to people please, to all of that, and so like kind of letting some of that stuff go, and knowing like that it wasn't all altruistic either, and that it didn't, like, sometimes it didn't serve me or the other, but sometimes it did serve me and the other, but yeah, it was like certain learned behaviors and adaptations and roles, dynamics, patterns, inherited, implanted, or learned to survive, and survival strategies, all those things. And so it is hard, like, to kind of let go of some of those things and start, operating in a new way. But like, because it does take some internal work and some self-awareness and self-inquiry and just willingness to be open and to see and to go through some of the feelings and to look at ourselves, because we've all had a part and we have done the same things that we accuse the other of doing. In certain ways, that doesn't mean we need to punish ourselves or blame ourselves. We just need to be accountable and look and see where we have and what we can do to shift it. And that is like just to love ourselves and care enough about ourselves and each other and the people that we care about and the earth that we care about and the love that we care about. Like, to do that inner work, to see where, instead of like expecting and demanding everybody else change or conform to certain beliefs and opinions, because that's never ever gonna fucking happen. But like, if we can like be accountable for our own energy and our own behavior and our own actions when it comes to being respectful and honorable and all that, like, that's gonna be a happy, like, great day. But like, we can all do that like for ourselves and start to practice that. And I hope that, like, and I encourage that, and I cheer that on, and I could see that, like, I can see people who, are learning and growing and becoming aware, and they want to, and that's great, like, developing maturity, like, because we all have been immature in a lot of ways, because we haven't had, very good role models or good systems that encourage that self-reliance, like, really, and taking care of others as well. Like, we haven't had, like, it's been some toxic by design, though, and especially, lately, to destroy, like, a lot of different connections that we do have as a collective and as groups, as individuals, it's been kind of sad to see, like, everybody turn against each other in a lot of ways, where everybody's kind of, really attached to their identity and their ego and their own agendas of what they think is right or what's going to serve them the most or what they think is the most righteous. And it gets all confuddled and confusing and convoluted and complicated when, like, sometimes, it looks like it is, but, oh God, it is a little more simple and a little more, I guess a little more basic, because basically we all want the same things. Basically we're all, but like, man, we've been twisted and used and everything's been distorted, and gotta let go of some of the stories and stuff and do some inner work to work out a lot of stuff and, like, just, like, deprogram. And my goodness, I hope, like, people can heal their hearts, and because we have been traumatized and a little bit messed with, well and truly fucked with. And so that's, like, part of my Achilles heel, or my wound that really triggers me. But like, if I can use that, like, to help myself and help anyone else, like to understand manipulation or like different things, to be more informed and aware and equipped. That's my goal. And then just like to pursue like my love of life and what I find just so beautiful and sacred to me, and focus on those things and love those things and nurture those things and receive and give and offer and be a part of those things. That's enough for me. Just to be like where I am right now, and to love what I love right now, and to be who I am right now, and to allow who I am right now without anybody else like really having a fucking say about anything, how they perceive me or who they fucking think I am. And it's just, yeah, really funny and awesome place to be. And I'll just continue to work and be whatever it is, whoever anyone thinks. And just be this love that I am for me, and enjoy and remember all those things, like, to the best of my abilities. I have love for me, and just living my life and loving my life and being this love, loving this love, living this love, freeing this love and being this love, sharing this love, giving this love, seeing this love, and singing this love, dancing with this love, yeah, loving this love, making this love, seeing this love all around me. That's everything. And just remembering. So all that stuff that, doesn't really align with that, like, doesn't drag me down or make me forget, like, what's true and who I am and what I can do, what I can be, and who I can choose, and what I can love for me, like all I can love, and just for me. And because everybody, like, seriously, people who love you, and don't play games with those who don't, just really. So, all right. Thanks for listening. I'll see you for now. Be well.